Martin, can you tell them all to have a look at the Stitched Up Live Take 2, because that's where I am. Take 2. No, Take 2. Yeah? Take 2. T-A-K-E. Oh my God, Martin. Take. I'm not saying it again. Take as in tit. Because you are one. Take 2. Yes. It should be on my main screen thing. On my channel. Yes. Hello. You found me. Oh my word. No, there's no gremlins, Joe. It's me. It's me that cannot work technology. It's totally beyond me. I had to ring Shan and get her to help me. So no, I was yelling at my husband because I'm saying to him, because he's moderating, I said, just go onto my channel and tell everybody to find the little thumbnail that says Take 2. And he's saying, cake. And I'm like, no, take. Oh my word. Hello, everybody. Anyway, hi, how are you all doing? Oh dear me. We'll just wait for everybody to find where we are. Cake. Yes, I know. Cake. I wish we did have cake, but we have no cake. But I've got coffee. I've got coffee in my mug that Bronte got me for Mother's Day. So hi everyone. I'm glad you're all here now. I'm so sorry. As I say, it's just me that's just useless with technology. And yeah, I had to give Shan a quick ring to say help. Oh, how are you all anyway? It's Friday. It's nearly the weekend. Thankfully, week of work is over. Oh dear me. Yeah, Ruby, I'm so sorry. I was here, but I just couldn't figure this technology out. So yeah, nursing, fine. Technology, beyond me totally. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Jackie. Oh, bless you. It's so lovely to see you all. So how are you all doing? Hi, Christine. Hi, Sally. Oh, dear me. Yes, I'm really glad for the weekend as well. I am, well, I think I'd put earlier, those of you that are in the Peeps group, I think I'd put a post up earlier saying about that I was running home from work, and that was an absolute disaster because I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did a big run last Sunday and I occasionally have a problem with my hip and it was really hurting while I was running last week. And I decided to run home from work today thinking, yeah, that'll be great because I've rested my hip all week and it's been fine. And then I started running home from work. I got about 2 kilometers into my run and my hip was really painful and I persevered. But after about another half K, I was hobbling and I couldn't run at all. So I had to ring Martin to come and pick me up, which he did, bless him. So now I'm in loads of pain again. I've had some painkillers, but I am hobbling like an old lady. So yeah, so running's off the cards for me at the minute, I think now. So I'm still in my running kit because I left work in my running kit and I didn't even break into a sweat really. So hi, Andy. Yes, I'm so sorry. It's not you. It's me. It's me that just cannot work YouTube at all. You'd think that I'd know what I was doing by now, but honestly, I really don't. So Sally's had another glass of wine. Well done, Sally. I will be having gin later, purely for medicinal purposes because I need it for pain relief. No other reason. Jill, no, I've got what's called a hip bursitis. So the greater trochanter, which is the outer part of your hip on the outside of your body, you have like these little sacs of fluid, which are called bursa, which are between most of your joints in your body. And the one that's in that hip joint on me has got inflamed basically, and it happens a lot in runners. Women are more prone to it than men, and it also happens when if you run in how can I explain it? I guess if you're not always stable when you're running and you run a little bit crooked, I guess that kind of thing, it can cause some inflammation, and yeah, that's what I've got. It's really painful. So hi Christina, Hi, Kenaholic. I'm just trying to catch up on everybody. Hi, Diane. Oh, Andy, you've got a bad hip as well. That's really bad. It really sucks, doesn't it? Eileen says, hope the new job is going well. It is, Eileen. Yeah, I mean, I've been through a few different jobs these last few years, and that's only because I get itchy feet, I guess, more than anything else. And I've yet to find the perfect job. If anybody has one, please let me know. But yeah, it's so whenever I move jobs, I always have a bit of a wobble, I guess, because it always makes me really unsettled because, you know, you're having to get to know a new team and they're having to get to know you and all that kind of thing. So last week was a little bit of a wobble, I guess, the first week, but it's a lot better this week. I'm enjoying it. I'm starting to settle in a bit more now and getting to know people. Well, I'm saying I'm getting to know people. It's actually really difficult because they're taking this social distancing thing really seriously, which is the right thing to do. But it means that when I'm at work, obviously everybody's in their own little space and nobody's really interacting, and it's really, that makes it really hard to get to know people, obviously. So, you know, it's just unusual times, isn't it? But we'll all get there, I guess. Cecile says, how's the rhubarb gin coming along? Well, speaking of rhubarb gin, yes, it's coming on really well. It's drinkable now. I think it was about 3 weeks ago, wasn't it, when we made it? And I have had a little taste. It's really lovely. I can't really taste the ginger in it, but I think we probably need a bit more ginger than we put in, but it's very, very tasty. So I'm sure that's what I'll be drinking later on. New to sewing says, I'm hobbling like an old lady too. I'm recovering from a hip fracture. Oh, painful. Jane, hi from Oregon. Hi, Jane. Hi, Deborah. I had a steroid injection for my hip work wonders when no painkillers worked. Yes, well, last year it was my right hip that was bothering me, and I did have a steroid injection because I've got a GP who's a very good friend of mine now, and he did it for me, and he's working at a different practice to me now. And I actually messaged him earlier and said, can I have another steroid injection, please? But what I'm going to have to do is get my GP to prescribe it for me so that I can pick it up from the pharmacy and then go and see him, and he will stick the needle in my left hip, and hopefully that will work better and make it better. So Jill says she ran 5k on Wednesday. Well done, Jill. And felt it in my hip yesterday. Yeah, it's really bad because I've been running for about 20 years now, on and off, and I've, touched wood, never really suffered with many ailments related to running until this last year. Maybe it's because I'm getting old. I think that's what it is. Hi, Lorianne. Are you enjoying the Great British Sewing Bee? Yes, I am loving it. How are you all enjoying it? Those of you that can see it. I think there are some people in America that can see it though, can't you? Yeah, really, really enjoying it. Obviously, I won't give away any spoilers about what happened Wednesday this week in case you haven't caught up on it yet, but I'm really enjoying it. I know, looking on social media, there's a few people that have been commenting about Joe's style of presenting, and I think there was Smockgate last week, or Smockingate, whatever you want to call it, because there was a lot of people on social media not happy with the smocking. But you know, to me, it's just an entertainment program, isn't it? It's not a serious sewing program. It's light entertainment, and I just think it's great. And if it's going to get more people into sewing, it got me into sewing. That's how I started after the second series, I think it was, that I started. So it's a good thing. So, but I love it. It's just an escape from all this that's going on at the moment. Hi, Meryl. Hi, Donna. Alex is here. Hi, Alex. Hi from Ontario, KnitNut246. Connie, hi. Is your name Connie? I hope it is. Hello from Ontario. Who else have we got on here? Elaine from Canada. I came from Leicester. Wow, Leicester to Canada. Oh, I love Canada. I would love to go back. I was only saying to Martin the other day, though, with the lockdown as we are now, last year when we went to Canada, we went at the end of June, and I am so glad that it was last year we went and not this year, because I think I would have been beyond devastated by now. Joe's loving this year's sewing bee. Yay. Cornell, hi. Looks like your stash has grown. My stash is in a mess, to be honest. It really is. There's just fabric all over, and I really need to sort it out. So I'm probably going to do a bit of that this weekend, I think. Have a bit of a rummage through and sort things out. Astrid, hello. Oh, you can't see the sewing bee. Oh, that's a real shame. Hopefully they might put it on on YouTube at some point. I think sometimes you can access things that way, can't you? Right, who else have we got? Astrid, Sally, Janelle. Hi, Janelle. Hi, Patricia. Oh, wow, it's so lovely. Anyway, right, so I am sewing at the moment. Do you want to see what I'm sewing? I'm doing this pattern, which is a vintage, well, it's a reproduction vintage pattern, V8974. And I'm doing the dress. Now, I have made this before. I did it about 4 years ago to go to a wedding, and I've wanted to make it again for ages and just not had the opportunity and not got around to it. But I have decided that this is what I'm making. So I've been doing it all week. Now, what I needed to do was just drag out the old dress first to try it on and make sure it still fit, which it did. And I got this gorgeous fabric. Let me show you. This is it here. So this is a Broderie Anglaise. That's what we call it in the UK. I don't know what it's called elsewhere. With this lovely sort of floral print on it. And I got this from a lovely lady who owns a little fabric shop in Dewsbury, which is in West Yorkshire. So it's about half an hour, 45 minutes away from where I live. And she's called Manjit, and she unfortunately doesn't have an online shop, but she has started selling some fabrics online because of the lockdown and everything. And obviously a lot of the shops are closed still, and she sells really inexpensively. So this cotton, which is beautiful, was £5 a metre. So I got 5 meters of this, and that's what I'm making this out of. Yeah, so I have almost got the bodice together. What I have done is, because this pattern has a facing on the inside, and I decided that I wanted to make it a full lining. So I had a bit of a go at drafting a lining, and it sort of worked okay. It's not perfect, but it's worked. It's not bad. So this is it here so far. I've just got the bodice done so far. So that's it so far. So you've got obviously these lovely straps which sort of cross over at the back. If I just pin it together at the side, because it has a lapped zipper in, which I actually really like a lapped zipper. I don't know if any of you guys have done a lapped zipper before, but from what I can read, and I'm not an expert, I think that these were used a lot in vintage patterns, because obviously they didn't have invisible zippers back then. So they used lap zippers to hide the zip. And I've got a really good book, the sewing book. In fact, I'll grab it and show you. Oh, just 1 second. So this is it here. This book, if you ever come across it, is amazing. I don't know if, I mean, it's reading backwards to me. I don't know if that's reading backwards to you guys, but it's reading backwards to me. But this book is really amazing. It's got loads of techniques in, and I learned to do a lapped zip from this book. I mean, I'm sure there's loads of tutorials and things online, but yeah, it's here, look, how to do a lapped zip. So I just followed this tutorial, the first one that I did, and it's really easy, and I really like it actually. So right, I've just pinned it together anyway, and hang on, there we go. So that's obviously the front of the bodice, and that's it's still not worked very well, has it? It's difficult to show you, but that's the back with the little straps that cross like that. And then the zipper goes in the side. And if I just turn it inside out, as I say, originally the original pattern just has a facing. Yeah. And I've used the facing and then attached a bit of a lining just with some cotton lawn. So I just drafted my own pattern to make the lining. And then it's lined at the back as well. So that's as far as I've got. I've just understitched this tonight and given it a press, and that's as far as I've got. So yeah, so I've got the skirt pieces cut out, and I thought I could, here are the skirt pieces, and I thought I would try and get a little bit more done while I'm chatting to you guys. So let's see, let me try and catch up. Teresa says, how's Bronte? Bronte's fine, thank you. She's okay. She still hasn't come home. She is just such an independent young lady, and yeah, I think to be honest, the plan what I originally wanted to do was, when she was in hospital, and was going to be discharged, I wanted her to come home at that point because I felt that that was the only opportunity we had really to be able to go down and pick her up, because of the lockdown and everything. But now she's been home a couple of weeks. I think we're going to have to wait till, you know, things are a bit more sort of open, that we can start seeing people a little bit more before we can see her. So, but she's doing great, thank you. What else? Oh, Jojo says that's gorgeous fabric. Yes, it is. It is, but it's lovely. It's just cotton, as I say. It's just cotton with a really nice print. If you watch my weekly vlog that's coming up at the weekend, I've included a bit more about it there and how to get hold of it, because she put a post up on Instagram. That's where she tends to, she's most sort of, she spends most time on there, I guess. And she's got other cottons very similar, with similar designs. They're all white with blue floral print on, but they're different, slightly different. So yeah. So Lorianne says we call it eyelet fabric. Well, Lorianne, we have eyelet fabric as well, but it's slightly different to that. Broderie Anglaise tends to be a very specific sort of design. So if I show you it again, you see how, oh gosh, you see how you get these sort of like little florally things. I mean, I guess it is like that with the little holes in, but they're sort of every so often with the embroidery in between. That particular sort of design tends to be called Broderie Anglaise, whereas eyelet, I guess what I think of as eyelet in the UK is where it's much more of a geometric holy fabric, if that makes sense. Cecile asks, is Isaac done for school for the term? No, he is obviously schools. Well, he's at college, but they are obviously not in college currently. And so he is at home, still doing his college work. I don't think they actually break up, well, mid-July, but I think by the sounds of the way things are going, I don't think they'll be going back before September. Okay, Ridge Reich says eyelet lace is what my mum called it in the USA. Okay. Mary, hello from Michigan. Hi, Kim. Kathy, hello from Windsor, Ontario. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Kathy. That's really lovely. Elaine says she can read it okay. Brilliant. Connell loves the fabric. Andy says, are you going to do a lining tutorial, please? Yes, I am going to do, Andy. Absolutely. I think I do like the when I say I like the facings, I think the problem with dresses like this is when you've got a facing like that, and I found that with the first version of this that I made, is that because you've got this crossover straps and it's very fitted around the top, that you end up, once you've put it on and zipped yourself in, that you're trying to tuck the bits of facing down, and it's really frustrating. So I do think that, you know, it's better for them to be lined. But what I find a problem with lining, if it's a full lining of a totally different fabric, then sometimes you can end up where you've got bits of the lining peeping out, even if you understitch it. So I quite like having the facing of the same outer shell fabric and then attaching a lining to that facing. So if it does peep out a little bit, at least it's the same shell fabric that you're seeing, if that makes sense. So but yeah, absolutely, I will do a tutorial for it. It is actually really simple. The reason I said this was a little bit difficult was because the front of this bodice, if I show you again, that one is actually, it does have a center seam, and what I did with the lining was I didn't put a center seam in the lining. So as you can see the sort of seam at the center front there on the shell fabric and the facing, but I've drafted the lining to be all in one piece at the front, and so it's a bit of a different shape. Now, I'll be totally honest with you, that was it's a bit fudged. You know, it's certainly not, I didn't really know what I was doing with it, and I've just managed to make it fit. So but yeah, I will do a little tutorial on how to create a lining to attach to a facing, if that makes sense. Eileen says it's beautiful fabric, thank you. The dress will look amazing, perfect for summer. Yes, that's what I'm thinking, Eileen. It's going to get really warm apparently next week, so hopefully if I get it finished this weekend, I'll be able to wear it. Cecile says it's beautiful, thank you. Alex says we call it Broderie Anglaise, but in Polish. Oh wow. Okay, let me have a go at pronouncing this. Haft Angielski. Is that right, Alex? I'm sure, yeah, your English is far better than my Polish. Deborah says, how is your dad too? Dad is okay, thank you. Yeah, he's doing okay. It's just up and down. You know, he's 80 years old, bless him, and he's got his ailments and he's up and down. And just as we think things are getting better, then he has a bit of a setback. So, but he's okay. Thank you for asking. Christine says, they also call it Broderie Anglaise in Canada. Canaholic says, can you advise where you get your tracing paper and what kind do you get? I'm looking at getting medical couch paper from Amazon. All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously I know the couch paper because I use that at work. So there's two types of that though. The couch paper that we use at work is more like what we class as toilet paper. So I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't know what you've been looking at on Amazon, and it could be absolutely fine, but just make sure it's not like tissue paper, because I think that would probably be a bit difficult to trace on. It might tear easily. The tracing paper I use is the same that Sian uses, and I pinched the idea from Sian. It was Sian that gave me the idea on one of her vlogs a while ago. She buys it in the big rolls, and that's what I did from a website called Morplan, Morplan. And they sell it in big 75, I think it's, or is it 100-meter rolls, 75 or 100-meter rolls. I think it's about £70, something like that. But it lasts ages. Now, it is a little bit thick. And so obviously, I tend to trace out on my dining room table downstairs, and which is wood. And if I use the tissue patterns, and put that straight on the wood and then the Morplan paper on top, it's really difficult to see through. So what I do, and I think Sian does it too, I'm sure if she's around she'll say, but I cut out a big piece of the Morplan paper and put that on my table first so that it's a white background, put the tissue paper on top, and then another piece of the paper on top, and then I can see it. I did used to, before I got that, we had like a little pound shop in our local town that used to sell greaseproof paper, not baking paper, but greaseproof paper, and it was £1 for 10 meters, I think, and it's designed for obviously baking and cooking, but I found it was very good for tracing patterns. I mean, obviously it's not very wide, but the good thing about the greaseproof paper was that you can stick it together with sellotape. Baking paper, I found, doesn't stick together at all with sellotape. It just comes apart. So anyway, I'm really waffling here, aren't I? But essentially what happened was the pound shop that I bought this from went into administration last year and folded, unfortunately. So I bought a load of their stock that they had on the shelves before they closed. But once I'd used that up, obviously I didn't have that as an option anymore. So that was when I went back through one of Sian's vlogs, because I knew she'd mentioned a few times where she got that from, and I thought, right, I'll just invest in getting one of those big rolls, which is what I did. So yeah, that's what I use. Okay, so where are we up to? I think I've missed a few comments. I'm really sorry. Oh yeah, Sian said it'll last about 3 or 4 years. The last one I bought is thinner than the previous. Oh right, okay, that's interesting. Ridge Reich says the Amazon table paper is great. It's what I use, thicker than tissue, but not so thick you can see through. Brilliant, that's great. Lorianne says, Rachel, I think you owe Sian some fabric for all her helpful tips. Oh no. Well, saying that, I've already told Sian that when I go to the retreat in October, which hopefully, fingers crossed, will happen, I'm going to raid her stash. She doesn't know it yet, but we'll just sort of divert her attention and she won't even know. Okay, where are we up to? Jennifer Lean says, hi, Meryl. So I'm a Safas from John, but live in Dorset, UK for the last 18 years. Hi. Ginger Head & Co. Alex says, anyone else is eyeing up Rachel's fabric? Do you know, next time I'm going to put a big screen here so you can't see it. It'll be tidier next time, I promise. But, sewing spaces, if they're really tidy, then people don't use them, do they? That's my justification, because it's it's chaos in here, but I'm in here working all the time, so it's not going to be tidy. Stitch and Sew says, love the fabric. I've been looking at my fabric stash and realised I'm obviously partial to blue. I didn't even realise. I don't know what I don't really have a colour scheme, as you can probably see. I did have a bit of a crazy idea the other day, thinking, should I reorganise my fabrics? And I tried to, well, it's not like that at the minute, but it was originally organised by fabric. Yeah, so cottons and linens and viscoses and crepes and things like that. And I had a bit of an epiphany the other day, thinking, shall I redo, and although I'll have it in sort of viscoses and drapey fabrics, should I then do it in colour coordinated so it looks a bit like a rainbow? I think that would be quite nice. Okay, that might take me a while though, and I don't know if I've got enough space. Tanya Ellis says, love all your fabric. I don't know what Martin said, because Elaine Makin says, Martin, I'm on my way. I have no idea what he said. I've missed that totally. Hi, Paula. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming and joining in. Shan says, fat chance. Again, no idea. It's gone over my head. Sorry. Patricia says, lol. Angela Harron, hi. Hello, everyone from Chester Street. I also use greaseproof, but it's not very wide. Yeah, the stuff that I bought, Angela, wasn't very wide, but I could stick it together with sellotape, so it wasn't too much of an issue at the time. My favourite is Swedish tracing paper, folds down flat for storage, but you can pin and sew it for fitting. I've never used it, and I think the problem is, I'm a Yorkshire girl and I like to get as much as I can for my money, and I've seen it and it's not cheap, not in the quantities that I would probably use it, but I would like to try it. I think for something really special, if I was making something really special and doing particular adjustments and things, I'd maybe use it. But I think for everyday tracing, I just don't think I could afford to spend that kind of money on how much I would need to spend on it, if that makes sense. Alex says, Martin will be popular with ladies and scared to go back. I have no idea what he said. Lorianne, lol, thought we were supposed to worry about Shan raiding your stash and me. Yes. Yeah, I think, yeah, Shan would have a whale of a time in here. I think a few of you would actually. Yeah. Okay, right. Stitch and Sew says, I used to use white greaseproof paper. They seem to stop doing. Yeah, that was the stuff that I used, the white, and it's just the brown stuff now, which I don't think, it's not very good for tracing patterns. Okay, all right. Martin's going to be providing gin soon. Yay. Paula says your sewing space is very comforting. It's kind of cozy. It is cozy, but it's a little bit too cozy at the minute, because literally right behind my chair, see this pile here is right behind my chair on the floor, and it's just messy. It needs tidying up. Cecile says, I do my stash in content and weight by colour. So spring, summer fabrics together, fall, winter. Oh, that's an idea. Martin is trying to sell off your fabrics. No chance. No chance. You'll need a lot of, yes. Well, actually, Alex, he wouldn't need a lot of gin, because I can't take my alcohol. I think 1 or 2 glasses of something and it goes straight to my head. Right. Crafty Mystic says, don't trust a clean sewing room, means very little activity. That is my ethos too. Janice is late to the party. My connection is poor. I'm really sorry, Janice. Thank you for coming anyway. It's lovely to have you. Kath Afloat says, ha, Yorkshire girl, short arms, long pockets. Absolutely. Andy says, I'm a Yorkshire lass and my dad was always known as how much. Yes, I've heard that phrase once or twice. Jennifer Leeton, Shan made me do it. She blogged that the textile centre was opened again and the fabric just jumped into my basket. Pounds later. Well, exactly, because I was on Shan's hangout last Sunday and somebody brought up about the textile centre. Oh no, actually I came in halfway through because I'd been at work, and I had I think I must have had an email or something pop up on my phone about the textile centre, so I was quickly typing, textile centre's open again, and then everybody was like, oh, we already know, it's old news. So then I totally forgot about it, and I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday this week that I had an eBay notification that they had uploaded a load of fabrics, and I suddenly remembered. Then I'm like, oh, textile centre, I need to have a look. So I went on and had a good browse at their new fabrics. Oh, there's some beauties, some absolute beauties, and yes, I did buy some. So I'm waiting for that delivery. I think it's actually with Hermes now, so hopefully it might come tomorrow. That would be really nice. So I've got a load of fabrics in the wash at the minute, actually. I got some from Material Girl Laura. There was some nice viscoses that she got. I've got them in 2 colorways, and I've got a jersey as well that's got leaves on. They're all in the wash though, so that I can't show you at the minute. I also got some lovely twill from Lamazi Fabrics that's just come today as well, in an aubergine colour. That's going to be the new Tilly and the Buttons pattern. It's the jumpsuit. I can't remember what it's called actually. Tilly and the Buttons. Somebody will tell me what it's called, but I actually really liked it when I saw it, and she'd got, I think, a 10% off or something. Why can't I find it? All that's coming up is Marigold, and it's not the Marigold. Lorianne's just mentioned it actually. What do I think about the Tilly and the Buttons and the Closet Case? Yes, because Closet Case have just released one as well, haven't they? And they're very similar. I mean, I do love both of them actually. And I think on my figure, the Tilly and the Buttons one will be more flattering than the Closet Case one. It's more of a boiler suit, and I think I'll feel a bit, I don't know. My original thoughts with the Tilly and the Buttons one, which I'd already bought, by the way, before the Closet Case one came out, was that I would do an orange linen, and then I had this horrendous thought that if I made an orange linen jumpsuit, I would look like an American convict. So I quickly scrapped that idea and I went for aubergine. I think that would be better. Okay, Alex is talking about her machines again. How many machines do you have, Alex? Andy says she's bought from Textile Centre as well. Claire Abel says, what is the paper called from Morplan? Oh gosh, I don't know if Sian can answer that. I think, do you know, I'm not sure. I think when I went on the Morplan site and I bought it, I think I just put tracing paper in, and I think that came up. I'm not sure. Where are we? Cecile says, you need to take Bronte's bed out and put in a raised bed so you can store your fabric under the bed and still get to it. Actually, the plan is our son Isaac, who is in that room there, which used to be Bronte's room. This used to be Isaac's room. And then when Bronte moved out 3 years ago, he moved into her room, and this became obviously the spare room. We are planning that when he goes to uni next year, he wants to go to uni, and he wants to go to Cumbria, Edinburgh, or where was the other one? There was another one he was thinking of. Manchester, that was the other one. So when he moves out, I think I'm going to move into that room because it's bigger than this one. The only thing that's putting me off is that this room is south facing. Our garden is south facing, so obviously we get all the sunlight through this window, which is lovely. During the day, I love actually being in here because it's really nice for sewing. Whereas the other room, that one obviously is north facing, so it's not as good on with daylight. So I'm a little bit worried. But I think, I think it'll be okay. Does anybody know if Sherwood's have said what their weekend offer is yet? Because I didn't buy anything from Sherwood's last week, and only because Pluto was poorly. Oh yes, I need to update you on Pluto, don't I? Yes, Pluto had a limp last Friday evening. He came, he doesn't tend to go out much, and if he does, he tends to just either go in the garden or the field opposite, and then comes back. And he came in last Friday evening. I think he'd been out probably for an hour or so, come back in, and he was limping. And we didn't really know why. We had a look at his paw, and his paw was fine. But we thought, well, we'll just keep an eye on him over the weekend. Maybe he's just pulled a muscle or something. And then over the course of the weekend, this limp got worse and worse and worse. And he by the time of Sunday evening, he wasn't using that leg at all. It was his right front leg. And so basically Martin was at home on Monday, so he phoned the vets, took him to the vets. We didn't think it was broken. It wasn't deformed or out of shape or swollen or anything like that. He just wasn't using it. So Martin took him to the vets on Monday. So because all this was going on last weekend, I thought, oh, I better not spend anything on Sherwood's this weekend because we may end up with a huge vet bill. And anyway, it turned out that the little had been fighting, hadn't he? And he was just a bit bruised and battered. I think the vet said he had a little wound somewhere in his paw, but because he's so fluffy, you can't actually get through all the fluff to find things on his body. And he had a wound at the back of his neck, but he wouldn't let the vet have a look. So essentially, vet gave us antibiotics and painkillers for him, said, give him these over the next few days, see how he goes. And if he's no better or gets worse, bring him back. Anyway, he's better. He's fine. He's back to normal. And yeah, so all that because he was fighting. He was basically fighting with another cat that we don't know who. But it didn't cost us. It wasn't as expensive as what it could have been. So so that's okay. Right. I don't think Sherwoods have released anything yet. It's maybe not a bad thing, is it? Can you believe it? Stitch and Sew says there are 2 fabrics I want from Sherwoods and there's no offer this weekend. Only 2 fabrics. You clearly can't have looked through them all. Alex says she only has 6 or 7. That's hardly any. I had 26 altogether. Wow. Sewing machines I've got 3 sewing machines and an overlocker and a cover stitch. That's it. So my 3 sewing machines, I've got my FAF, which is here, this one. This big beastie here. You can just see it there, and I'm knocking everything on the floor now. I also have a Singer, a vintage Singer downstairs, 201K, which is an absolute workhorse, and I love that sewing machine. It's amazing, but I can't get to it at the minute. It's in the conservatory. It's very heavy. It's been electrified as well, so obviously it was originally a treadle, but it's not now. And yeah, I do love that machine. It's amazing. I sewed Bronte's prom dress on that machine. Yeah, so I've got that one, and then I've got a Janome, and I can't remember. It was an SMD 3000 or something. It was the first machine. Well, when I started sewing back in 2014, I think it was. I bought that sewing machine. I think it was about £300. It was like my first machine, first electric machine, and yeah, I've still got that. I keep that as a spare. I don't tend to use it now because I use my FAF for everything, but I've kept it as a spare just in case, touch wood, anything goes wrong with this. Yeah, I don't have room for more machines. Where do you keep them all, Alex? Nothing on the Sherwoods offer yet. They'll probably, I'm sure they will announce an offer at some point. Kath Afloat says, does the sun not bleach your fabric? Fortunately not. I think it just must be the angle of how the window is. It never gets, the sun doesn't, I don't know, the sun doesn't get directly beaming onto the fabric, if that makes sense, because there is just outside of this window, there's like a big tree, and the sun tends to go behind that, so it's sort of filtered as it gets through by the time the sun gets to that point in the day. So yeah, it tends to be okay. Eddie and Emily Edwards says, I love buying for Miss Chloe or CJ Fabrics. They don't have a lot of fabrics, but they have amazing choices, don't they? I've had a few things from them, and I would, if you've never heard of them before, just go through it, have a look at them. It's Miss Chloe, but it's not Chloe with a H, it's CLOE, and then CJ Fabrics. And yeah, she gets different things in all the time, doesn't she? And she has a lot of trims and things as well that she sells really, really, really inexpensively. I got my stay tape from her, this roll here. Let me just grab it. So I use this stuff, which is a roll. I got this from Miss Chloe, and I think it was £1.99 for like a massive roll of it that'll probably last me forever. But this stuff is basically like interfacing with if I show you it, there you go. So it's interfacing with a cord running through it. So obviously you can use it to stabilize seams. So, you know, in some jersey patterns, for instance, if you're using viscose jersey, they always advise you to use either a bit of elastic in the seams or a bit of interfacing or whatever, just to stabilize the seams so that they don't pull. It's not always necessary, but I tend to use this, and I use this in my Eve dresses as well, you know, the front neckline of the wrap, I tend to use this there to try and hold that shape before I'm stitching it. So but yeah, I got this from Miss Chloe, and she's great for things like this. I have had some nice fabrics from her as well, but I tend to get more trims and bits and pieces like that. So Ruby says, I can't work unless my room's tidy. Am I weird? No, you're not weird, Ruby. To be honest, I'm finding this a bit stressful working in here at the minute because there's stuff everywhere, and you know, that lot over there, it's just a mess. It needs sorting out. Heather says, I wondered about Sherwood, but not had my order from last week, so maybe they are busy. Yeah, they're up and down, aren't they? Well, it's weird because before the lockdown, when I got from Sherwood's, it would usually be probably at least a week before I would get my fabrics, which was fine. And then during the lockdown, when I've placed an order, they've come within like 3 days, and I'm really quite surprised because I would have thought it would have been the other way around. Judy's here. Hi, Judy. I'm too busy sewing to look at Sherwood's. Good for you. Stay away from Sherwood's, Judy. You will lose all your money. Stitch and Sew says, I'm trying to be good. I've had deliveries from Material Girl Laura, another one on its way, and Oh So Crafty. Yeah, Material Girl Laura's got some gorgeous fabrics at the minute, hasn't she? Oh So Crafty, I've had a few bits from them as well. Alex says, I need a big house. I don't even have space for fabric. Oh, bless you. Cecile says, you guys in the UK are spoiled with beautiful fabrics you have access to. Ours is expensive and even more expensive to purchase online. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Jojo says, I love Miss Chloe, been ordering from her for years, so reasonable. She is, isn't she? She really is. Ridge Reich says, I still have an old working treadle singer. Wow. I let my kids use it because they can't really mess it up. I have 5 electric machines and a serger. I also have loads of knitting machines too, space heaters. Wow. Yeah, well, it probably will happen that once I move into that room next year, I might end up with another machine. You never know. Okay, so, right, I need to do a little bit on this, don't I? I've still got a few threads to trim, and then I think I'm going to sew the skirt together, which is easy because it's just 4 pieces. The hardest bit on this is putting the bodice together. So what are you all sewing this weekend? Or what are you all doing this weekend? Because if you're in England, you're not locked down anymore. You can go off to the beach or to the mountains. You might get eaten alive by some of the natives.
Hello.
Hello.
Evening, ladies.
Oh, he's here, look. He's here with supplies.
Supplies.
Supplies. Is that the rhubarb and ginger? What we've made?
It's our homemade, that I made.
No, we did it.
No, I made it. You just chopped rhubarb and drink it all the time.
This is our rhubarb and ginger gin that we made. It's got a few little floaty bits in, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Very nice, lovely. Majority of that is tonic, by the way. Something's just fallen off a shelf. Okay. Right, where are we up to? Sharon's here. Hi, Sharon from South Africa. Thank you for joining us. So Lele Bell says, I had birthday fabric delivered today from Little Legs Fabrics. I've not heard of those before. Might have to check those out. Judy says, no spare cash due to new machine. I'm with Alex. I think, says, I can't restrain myself when I see fabric. I know that problem. Even though I know I can't get through what I have. Yep, I say this to others. They say, stop buying, as simple as that. I know you will not say the same. No, it's a real affliction, isn't it? Lorna MB1 says, I buy fabric from Colville quite a lot and I've got 7 machines. Yeah, I've had a few bits from Colville as well. Claire Abel says, I've got a Janome sewing machine, a Bernina overlocker, and I've just bought a Jack Industrial. You see, that's the thing. I think I would like an industrial machine. You know, I think it would complement the rest of my machines quite well. Where are we up to? Oh, Joyce is sewing an Axis dress right now. Nice. I've got that pattern, but I don't think I've printed it out yet. Eileen says, hello, Martin. Maria says, sewing nothing tonight, drinking wine, gardening this weekend. Yes, it's going to be a nice weekend, isn't it? Lauren says, hello to Martin. You ladies. Noelia says, I'll be making a start on a Bettine dress. Oh, actually, I am going to, except I can't find the fabric. You know the Barbarella fabric that I bought from Sean, and I think I showed it on one of my vlogs the other week. One of the I think it's an Alexander Henry fabric, and I was wanting to make a dress out of it, and you were all saying no, Martin needs a shirt, so I am going to make him a shirt. I'm going to make him a shirt, and I don't know what I've done with the pattern. Oh, I've picked out a number of patterns. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I've chosen a number of patterns that I'm going to make up this. Well, yeah, I'm not going to say make up this month because we're already on. Is it the 16th today? I'm not quite sure what date it is. But that are sort of next on my plans list. It says, is it 15th? 16th? He's shouting at me now up the stairs. Right, okay. So I got some new fabrics yesterday. No, I didn't get new fabric. I probably did actually, but no, I got new patterns yesterday. And one of them, I have, you're seeing this first actually. It's going to be in my vlog this weekend, but you can see them now. So I've got this one, M8009, that one there. And I really like this here. I really like the, you know, the midriff panel that sort of curves up a little bit. I think that's really cute. But I'm going to make this one here, which is a jumpsuit, I think. Yes, it is. And it's designed for drapey fabrics, basically. So, yeah, I'm going to make that. I think that's gorgeous. I don't know about these little ankle ties and the wide sleeves. I'm not sure that version's for me because I just think the wide wrist length sleeves will probably just end up being dunked in coffee and gin probably. So yeah, that's not going to work. And this, I originally thought this was like a tunic top, a peplum with a peplum, but it's not. It's a short romper, that really short romper. So if you've got legs like Elle Macpherson, that's the one for you. Unfortunately, I don't, so I don't think I'll be making that one, but I do like this, and I think it would look nice with the longer sleeves on as well. It's really cute. So that's on my to sew list. That came yesterday. I did have another couple of patterns that came yesterday, and I'm not sure what I've done with them. I did make the mistake of buying two of the same pattern, which, you know, is ridiculous. I really should have checked my cart, but I didn't. So Jane's bought one of them off me. What else am I going to make this month? I'm going to do the beach pajamas. Now, I made this. You've never seen it because it was a bit of a disaster, to be honest. I made this pattern about 2 years ago, and I made it out of a viscose, but the viscose was really thin. And I mean, it was only cheap, to be fair, so it was fine as a toile, but I traced off the size. It was just a bit too small, so that combined with the thin viscose fabric meant that there was too much VPL going on for me, so it got binned, and I haven't been back to it since. But yeah, this is my traced off pattern. This is the tracing paper that I used to use. This is the greaseproof paper, and as I say, it works really well. But yeah, so I need to retrace it, but I want to make these again because the only person I know that's made them is Shan, and they're just beautiful. So, but I need to retrace the pattern, so I'm going to do. Oh, Shan's doing a sew along for the M8009. Do you know what? I might wait till you've done that then, Shan. Can you get that done this month? And then I can just follow it instead of the instructions. And I'd love to see what you think of it. And yeah, so I'll let you do that one first, and then I will follow it. So yeah, I need to retrace that. That's not one that I'm going to do this month. This one, the Margot jumpsuit by, who made this? So La Di Da Vintage. This is a fabulous pattern. I absolutely love it. It's just gorgeous. I've made this before in, I don't know if there's any more pictures in the little book, in the instructions book. There's yeah, you've got, this is the sort of line drawing here. So you can either do like a little sweetheart front or just a straight front, and then obviously short version or long version. Have you seen my fingernail now? Look, it's not very nice, is it? It's, you remember when I nearly sewed through it the other week and it's all broken, a bit nasty, but it's growing out now. But anyway, sidetracked there. Yeah, so I love this pattern. It's really nice, and it's basically a low back. Well, yeah, it covers your bra, but it's backless, if that makes sense. And the straps that are around here just tie around the back of your neck, so you know you need to wear it with a strapless bra. Wide leg trousers, but I made this a couple of years ago out of some sea salt fabric with boats on, and I really love it. I wear it every year, so I'm definitely going to make that again. Let's just see where we're at. Andy says, I love that, but it would look ridiculous on me, boob issues. Which one are we talking about, Andy? Are we talking about this one, the beach pajamas, or I'm thinking you're probably talking about this one. Lara says, I'm sewing Wonder Dress from Wardrobe by Me. I don't think I've seen that one. Sarah's making the Closet Case Charlie Kaftan. Wow. Yeah, I made that. Again, I struggled with that pattern, I'll be honest. There was a couple, I think it was the bit where you attach the bit at the front or something. It just, yeah, it threw me totally. So, but I need to revisit it because I do like her patterns. Oh, Martin's talking about Jen. Ridge Reich says, if you watch Tomcat Stitchery, she just made the MA009. Wow, thank you. I will. I'll go have a look at that. Shan says, beach pajamas are so comfy. They probably are when they fit you, Shan, but not when they're the ones that I made. No, I need to redo them, definitely. And all that bias binding, there's loads of bias binding. So yeah, I need to redo that because I'm sure they are when, but I totally misjudged it when I trace the pattern, so I really need to redo that. I think says I have a Juki T, is it a TL 98p? It's a workhorse industrial machine that's portable. Oh wow, okay. Shan's doing the sew along next week. Brilliant. Jojo says she loves the 8009. Debbie says I've made the beach PJs and they're gorgeous. Put a picture up, Debbie, so we can have a look. Cecilia Martin talking about Jen. Okay. So Lele Bell says, I've just made the beach PJs. They're wonderful. Just had crotch issues. I'm already cutting my second pair. Yeah, crotch issues are not good. Right. Okay. So De Silva Johnson says, trying to figure out how to do an FBA on a raglan top. Is that a raglan jersey top or a woven? I don't think I've never done one on a raglan, so I'm not sure. Kathy says, I have two Juki industrials, love them. Yeah, I think if I went for an industrial, it'd definitely be a Juki. Sarah says, I'm worried about the step in the kaftan. I see I see there are some tutorials, which I'm sure I will need. Yeah, I really would look at the tutorials because it really threw me, to be honest, and took a while for me to get my head around it. And it was a bit of a mess because I think, yeah, you put something on the inside as well to cover it all up at the same time. And yeah, I don't know. It's a while since I made that. So Paula says, I'm trying to sew utility dress this weekend. Oh, I don't think I've seen that one either. Angela says, Shan's Beach PJs are my favourite make of hers. Yeah, they are pretty nice, aren't they? They're very lovely. The other one I've dug out is this one, the Magnolia. I've had this pattern for ages as well. And I did make this. I never showed it on the vlog because, again, I think the top I made too small. I always have trouble with princess seams. I don't know why, but anything that's princess seamed tends to cause me loads of fit issues, and it's not supposed to be like that. Princess seams are supposed to make it easier to adjust, but for some reason my body shape, my upper body shape, because I'm quite hollow chested here, doesn't tend to like princess seams. So I need to revisit this, and I'm going to revisit it because I've seen so many beautiful versions of this dress, and I want to have another go. So there's that one as well. So, and then, oh yes, getting back to the Barbarella fabric. This is the shirt pattern that I make, Martin and Isaac. So it's M6044. And I tend to do either this version here or that one there. Is not into the sort of Western styling and whatnot. I think there's some, they're the line drawings there. So yeah, so I've got this traced off and the fit right for Martin and also for Isaac as well. So I'm going to make, I think I'm going to make this into the Barbarella for him. Not sure. He did say, are you making me the long sleeved one? But I don't know if there'll be enough fabric, because I think I'm going to try and pattern match it, because it's quite obviously it's a very distinctive print, and because it's a directional print as well, I might not have enough. I don't know. I've got about just 3.4 meters, I think. So I think I should have enough, because I know when I've made him this before, I think I've used about 2.5 meters. So I think an extra meter might probably be enough. Depends on the pattern repeat, doesn't it? So, but I'll have a look at that. So yeah, so they're the ones that I have dug out. Okay, where are we up to with the comments? Cecile says that, Rachel, I'd talk about sewing, but I haven't sewn anything since the COVID-19 started. Do you know, that's a lot of people are feeling like that, Cecile, as well. It's really affected people. Washed fabric and printed patterns and putting off making alterations to the patterns, worried they won't go well. Oh, bless you. Sean says, thank you, Angela. Mary Manning, I love the look of the Magnolia. We're watching for your version. Yeah, I just need to redo the bodice. It's getting that to fit me right. That's the only issue. Jennifer says, I just purchased the Lynn jumpsuit from Selkie Patterns. Love the square neckline and vintage look. Lovely. Jojo, I'm missing dressmaking so much at the moment. I'm so jealous of you. Oh, bless you, Jojo. I know, but you just look after yourself. Your time will come. Kathy says, just finished the Misty Cami, left off the interfacing. Good girl, after your issues. I used leftover powder chiffon from the textile centre from an e-dress. Fabric was a nightmare. I can imagine sewing that in powder chiffon. Wow, you're very brave. Has it come out well though? That's the main thing. Mary says, oh, love that man's shirt I want to make for my hubby. Do you know, men's shirts are actually quite easy, because they don't have curves, do they, like we do? So they're quite easy, really. I think once you get sort of the shoulder and the arm length and the body length right. Martin says, is this the shirt that you've been going to make me for weeks? No, I haven't been going to make you it for weeks, have I? Because I got the fabric with the intention of making something for me, and then all my subscribers and people that watch my videos said that I should be selfless and let you have it. So I'm going to make it for you, but I've only just decided that, so you have to be patient. Okay, where are we at to? Oh, actually, thinking of the Alexander Henry fabric, I was looking for the Day of the Dead Alexander Henry fabric, and it's not a new print, it's an old one. I think it's called Los Elegantes something, Mortis or something. And I was having a good look last night. There's two prints. There's like a smoky grey one, which I love, and then there's another one as well, and I love that fabric, and I can't find anywhere that's selling it. It's out of stock everywhere, I think, because it's an old design. So if anybody sees any of that, let me know. Where are we up to? Paul says, I'm afraid that cleavage on Magnolia is too deep for me. I don't know how to raise it. Okay, let's have a look. Well, it's a crossover, isn't it, at the front? So what you could do is you could, and I'd have to look at the pattern pieces, I guess, but just looking at the front of this here, I would say that you could widen the cross pieces on the pattern so that it crosses over further up. Does that make sense? You could try that, as long as you made sure. Oh, I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. I'd have to have a think about that. Somebody far more experienced will probably be able to give you a better idea of how to raise it than I can. Alex says, with Alexander Henry fabric, if there's a yoke at the back, you might try plain fabric. Ooh, there's an idea. Actually, though, Alex, I don't think this pattern has it. This is the thing. This one doesn't have a yoke, unless you do. If you have a look at the pattern here, it's only the Western style one that has a yoke. The other ones don't. However, I can draft a yoke for it. That's not a difficult thing to do, is it? I can just use the Western pattern piece, if that makes sense, to give me the depth of where the yoke needs to be, and then obviously cut through the back pattern piece and add on seam allowances, and it's done, isn't it? It's should be straightforward. That should be straightforward, shouldn't it? Okay, I need gin. I need gin. Has anybody else got a drink with them tonight? Cecile, I've got to read this out, sorry, because this is hilarious. Cecile says, Rachel, the pattern for Martin, would you say that's a slim fit? I have that pattern, bought it for my hubby for Christmas, and the tall ship fabric to make it for him. He's not a slim fit guy. Right. Have you seen my husband? He's not a slim fit guy himself either. So honestly, Cecile, do not worry about that pattern. It will fit him. It's not a slim fit. Martin is broad, broad, big guy. And yes, he's not slim fit. Anything would not fit him. Bless him. Okay. Lorianne says, hi, Sal from Australia. Fancy seeing you here too. Alex says, try Frumble. They have a good selection. Yeah, I had a look at Frumble. I always go to them first, actually, because I always find that their designer fabrics, the designer fabrics tend to be always a little, just slightly cheaper at Frumble, and they haven't got it, Alex. They're sold out. New to Sewing says, I have a problem when princess seams originate at the armhole. It seems as if there's too much fabric removed from the bust dart in too small a space. Yeah, the princess seam, as it comes here, what tends to happen is I end up with loads of gaping here, and it ends up as well that this, the center bit, I end up with loads of gaping at the front here like that as well. So it just takes ages to fit them to me. Kathy says, I have that the shirt pattern in the larger size range, which I bought by accident. If anyone wants it's brand new, just give me the postage. That's really kind of you, Kathy. Thank you for that. Helen Fleet says, looks like it's in stock on Fabric Galore. Is it? Because I'm sure I looked at Fabric Galore last night. I'll have another look. Thank you for that, Helen. Sharon says, the line drawing on the shorter version looks like it has a higher neckline for the Magnolia. Look at that. She's much more observant than I am. That's a fabulous idea. Look, you could just use that version instead of that one for the higher bust point, chest point, whatever you call it. Okay. Cornell says, I watched Loopy Mabel too and ended up turning all my jersey scraps into knickers. Oh, wow. Angela says, talking about fabric shops, I found new and to me lovely fabrics, if I have any left. Make at 140. Great service, lovely lady. Andy's got gin. Good girl. Ridgemike says, it's only 2:38 p.m. The kids would give me funny looks if I got the wine bottle out. Oh, bless. Yes. Well, I don't know. It's after lunchtime. We have a bit of a theme in our house that on a really nice hot sunny day, and if we're in the garden and not planning on going anywhere, once that arm of the clock goes past 12 o'clock, it's time for a shandy. Alex said Alexander Henry's hedge hub is favourite. He's got 5 shirts made by his wonderful wife. Slaved over them. Yes, of course. And he gloats as if he made them. Really? I hope you put him straight. New to Sewing says it's too early for gin here. Oh, bless you. Paula says, Rachel, you just made Martin sad. Oh, so Martin's saying, so now I'm fat. No, I haven't said that. He sounds like a woman, doesn't he? Okay. I love that Martin is heckling you from downstairs. Yeah. Okay. Where are we at? Is the blue and white print behind you woven on it? Is beautiful. That's eye work, I think. This one is woven. It is linen, actually. And I think, I'm trying to remember where I got this from. I think I got this from Walton's. But yeah, it's definitely linen. And I was going to make some culottes out of this. That was the plan. And then I weren't sure whether it was maybe just a bit too much. So I think I have, let me think how much I've got here. There's about 2 meters here. So I think I'd bought it with the plan to make some culottes. But yeah, it's definitely woven. So's this as well. Look at this. How beautiful is that? This is another linen that I got from Stitch Fabrics, and when I bought the parrot, the parrot print fabric, and this is Sian's mum's fault because she alerted Sian to M. Rosenberg and Son selling this gorgeous panel print, and it's probably upside down. Oh no, there he is. Let's have a look. How beautiful is that? So yeah, when Sian posted this, I was like, oh, I need to have it. So I got two panels of that, and at the same time saw this, which is a linen, and thought that's just gorgeous too. So I got, I think, did I get 2 meters of this or 3? I think I might have about 3 meters of this, but this is linen too. So this is going to be, oh, I knew she'd say that. I knew Sian had come on and say, oh, I want that leafy linen. It's beautiful. They still have it. They still have it on their website, but it's gorgeous, isn't it? It's so nice. So I think that might end up being trousers as well, because Martin said to make a jumpsuit, but I made a jumpsuit from the foliage canopy a couple of years ago. I made the peppermint patterns. No, it's not peppermint patterns. It's in the folds for Peppermint magazine. It's the jumpsuit that's on that website. I made that in the foliage canopy, and it feels a bit pajama-y, to be honest. So I have worn it, but as I say, it does feel a bit pajama, like I'm in a onesie. So it's, and I'm really annoyed because I love that fabric, but I don't think I chose the right pattern for it, for me, for what I like to wear. So it doesn't tend to get worn much. So when he said make this, because I do think this is very much like the foliage canopy, when he said make this into a jumpsuit, I'm hesitant because I think it will be too much. But I think trousers, I think wide leg trousers will look pretty awesome in that. So yeah. Okay, so Mary Manning says she loves that navy and white linen. Thank you. Hi Sal, it's 5 a.m. here in Australia. Oh wow, and have you got up early just to come on here? Bless you. Okay, Ridgewright, yes, Sian says she wants that leafy linen. I'm hiding it if you ever come here, Sian. I'm going to hide all my tropical fabrics so you can't see them, and just leave out the ones that I know you won't like. Ridgewright says, I was just thinking that the blue and white needed to be wide leg trousers. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I think they should be. Angela says, shall be descending on Waltons the minute they're open again. Well, it's funny you should say that, Angela, because she was going to open this weekend. What she put a post up on Facebook earlier in the week and said that she was planning to open up on Saturday, very tentatively, because obviously Keith, her dad, is you know, an older guy, and he's got some health problems and everything, and he has been very poorly over the last few months, hasn't he? And obviously she's understandably worried about his health and everything. And so what she was planning to do was open just for a few hours, and had asked people to book an appointment. She wasn't going to have more than 2 people in the shop at once, taking all the, you know, sensible precautions and following guidance and everything. And I messaged her, and because my first thoughts was, oh, Waltons is open, and then I thought, no, she's going to be inundated with people. She's been shut for weeks and weeks and weeks, and because they do a lot of dance fabrics, and there's a lot of people that come from all over the country to Waltons to pick up dance fabrics, because they make outfits for, you know, the kids that do dancing and things. I knew that they would all be the ones descending, and I just thought it's going to be too much. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I don't need any fabric right now. And yeah, so I thought I don't need to go, as much as I would love to go to Waltons, I don't need to go right now and put them under any more pressure, etc. So I gave her a little message and said, lovely that you're opening, stay safe, all that kind of thing. I'll come when you're more, you know, things are more in a bit of a routine for you and everything, and settling down and whatnot. And then, you know, she thanked me for that. And then the next day she put up a post basically saying she decided that she wasn't going to open. I think she'd had a message from somebody, I don't know who, but somebody had I don't know what they'd said to her, but basically it made her think I'm not going to open. So so she's not opening now. So I think what she had decided to do was that people could ring up, place an order over the phone, and do like a click and collect type thing. But the thing is, they don't have a website, so I don't know what they've got in stock. So unless it's unless it's something that that she already has that you want, like for a lot of the dance crew, I think they know the lycras that she's got and things, so they can probably just do that. But for me, I like to just go for a browse and think, oh, I'll have that one, and I'll have that one, and I'll have that one. And obviously, you can't do that if you're ringing up, can you? So it's a shame, but I'm sure. Well, at some point they will open again, and I will obviously go. I need to go because poor Andrea, and I know Andy's on here, or she was earlier. I don't know if she's still here, but just before the lockdown, Andy had messaged me to ask if I would like go and do a FaceTime thing so she could choose some fabrics and things, and if I'd be willing to send them to her. And I said, of course I will. I think it was the lycras she was after, because I know Andy does a lot of exercise as well, and we'd planned that for the Saturday before the lockdown, and then the Friday night, that was when my daughter got took into hospital, and we were down in Leicester all night, and so obviously we had to abandon it then. I said we'll sort it out, and then the following Tuesday was when the lockdown happened, so it's not happened. So yeah, so we still need to sort that. Right, Amanda says, how many wardrobes do you have for all your makes? I have one wardrobe, and I think on my vlog last week, a few people brought this up actually, and said it was Andy who said it. She said, where on earth do you put all your makes? And I've sort of addressed it in the vlog, but basically I as I don't seem to do for the fabrics, I'm very sort of much more ordered with my clothes, in the fact that I have autumn and winter clothes, spring and summer clothes, and I rotate them round. So at the minute, and it's something that I need to do this weekend actually, in my wardrobe is still all my autumn and winter clothes. And then I bought, in fact, you can just see it there next to the radiator, that sort of thing there, that white thing that's lent against the radiator, is one of these storage cubes that you can get from IKEA, and that one is actually for a lot of my daughter's stuff that's under this bed here that she still needs to sort out. But when we did our bedroom, we bought two of those, and I used them for storing all my clothes that aren't in the current season, so to speak, under my bed. So in my wardrobe currently is all my autumn and winter clothes, but now I'm saying it's getting warmer. We've had frosts here the last few days, and it's actually been quite cold in the morning and the night. I mean, during the day it's not too bad, but it's been beautiful sunny skies. But as I say, it's not actually been that warm, but I think it's going to get properly warmer now. So so I have still been wearing a lot of my autumn and winter clothes, but I think, what I've done is I've dragged out from under the bed the storage cubes that have got all my spring summer wear in, and then I sort of go through them, look at what fits me, what potentially might fit me over the summer, and what really isn't going to fit me, and then I will put away the things that I'm not going to get into this year, or maybe donate them if I've decided, well, it's past its useful life now, or it's my tastes have changed or whatever. And then all my autumn winter stuff will go in and under the bed, out of the way, if that makes sense. So
I've brought one of your friends to show the people.
Hello. Hello. Hello,
Hello, everybody. It's Fat Martin.
This is Pluto.
And Pluto.
Yay. Where's that horrible paw that's poorly? He really doesn't like this. He's not very
I'm taking my fat away.
No, you see, he's gone. Pluto's gone as well. He only likes affection on his terms, like most cats. Yeah, so getting back to the wardrobe thing, I do only have, I have one double wardrobe, and then I've got a single wardrobe as well that I keep all my jumpers and things in. And my double wardrobe contains all the clothes that I'm going to be wearing for this season. Plus I've got, big chest of drawers as well, which loads of t-shirts and things and stuff. But yeah, that's it does work. I think before we did the bedroom, the old bedroom furniture we had it was out of control and I couldn't fit everything in that I needed to fit in. But since we had the bedroom done and we've got the new furniture, everything fits in fine. So I can't sew quick enough for all this, unless I didn't, stop sleeping and holding live streams as well. Okay, so where are we up to? Ridgewright says, our state was just forced by the courts to lift the lockdown. My family's remaining cautious and staying home. It's got to be hard for all the small businesses. Got to have foot traffic though. Yeah, we're in a similar, well, I'm saying we're in a similar situation. We're in a bit of an odd situation in the UK at the minute, in the fact that obviously there are 4 countries within the UK. We've got England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales. And the devolved governments of Wales, Scotland, I'm not sure about Northern Ireland, but definitely Wales and Scotland have decided that they are continuing the lockdown for a further 4 weeks. But England have said, as regards us going out for non-essential things, a lot of the shops haven't opened. They've told people to go back to work that can go back to work, but still to work from home if they're able to. But those that are going back to work, if their employers are able to work, they can only do so if they're still social distancing and all that kind of thing. But they're not allowed, well, they've advised them against using public transport. So yeah, to be able to drive and that kind of thing. But the other thing about England as well, particularly, is that they've told us that we can go out more than once a day now for exercise, and we can now drive to any part of England to exercise, whereas Scotland and Wales are totally against that at the minute. And so it's created a bit of a contentious issue, because we have a lot of beauty spots in England. I mean, they do in Scotland and Wales as well, but lots of touristy areas like Cornwall, where I know where Andy lives in Cornwall is obviously a tourist destination, Devon, and then we've got the national parks as well. And there's a lot of talk in those areas still of the sort of people that run the national parks and that kind of thing, that have said, please don't come, despite what the government have said, please don't come. But then there's a lot of people saying, I don't care, I'm still going because we can now. And yeah, so there's all that kind of thing going off at the minute, and it's a little bit, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. It's nice to think we can go out a bit more, and I'm certainly thinking this weekend that we may drive somewhere, not a honeypot area, but somewhere just, fairly local, that we know, because we know lots of areas where there won't be people, because we live very rural anyway here. And, it'd just be nice for a change of scenery, I think. So, yeah, we might do that at some point this weekend. Okay, where are we at? Okay, so Shan says, I think Big Bird and I are going to stay at our sister-in-law's in Yorkshire to descend on Waltons and Rachel when lockdown is over. I've missed the end of that conversation. Alex says, hello, Pluto, and Shan says, oh. Noelia says, hello, Pluto. Mary Manning says, lol, love you, Martin. Christine says, lol, Martin's funny. Jojo says, hey, Pluto. Oh, he's fine now. Pluto's fine. Back to his normal self. Right. Lorianne says, Sian, have you met Martin in person? No, she hasn't. But yes, Martin is coming to the retreat in October. So I'm dragging him along. It's basically because I think what it was don't get me, he's not going to be sewing at all. But we really like that. Well, I've only been to the Isle of Wight twice, both times to the retreat, and we had such a lovely time, and the scenery is so beautiful. And I did have a couple of occasions in between our actual get together, so to speak, where I managed to have a little walk along the cliff top and go down to a little beach, and it's definitely somewhere that we'd really like to explore. And I know from having a chat with Sian's dad while we were there, he was telling us a lot about some of the walking areas and things, and obviously when I've come back from the retreat and I've chatted to Martin about it, and I've said, we should go and do some exploring. So I think what we're planning to do is, Martin loves fishing anyway and walking, so he'll be quite happy while we're having our sewing days to be either going off fishing or just exploring the island himself. And so while he's doing that, obviously we'll be doing our sewing. And I think we're planning to either come a couple of days before the retreat or stay on for a couple of days after. We've not quite worked that out yet, so that we can spend a bit of time, just exploring the island a bit more. It's such a lovely place. So that's the plan anyway. Fingers crossed it all comes off. But so just getting back to Lorianne's question, no, Sian hasn't met him yet because obviously he's not been down. So okay. Where are we up to? Yeah, so he says he's looking forward to it. Andy says it's been getting busier here. I can imagine, Andy. I mean, Andy lives in a place, obviously I won't say on here, but it's a place that I visited every year since I was a little girl. I have lots of memories of the place where Andy is, and it's my favorite. I think just because of memories and emotions and things, but I used to go with my parents and grandparents when I was tiny, and it became like a second home for us. And so every year we would holiday there, and I never wanted to leave, and I love the place. And when I lost my mum 12 years ago, it was the first place I wanted to go, and to sort of relive her memories and all those memories and things. And we haven't been actually we didn't go last year, we went the year before, so we've missed a year. But that's because we went to Canada last year, but we normally go every single year, and I absolutely love it. And it is, I know the place inside out like the back of my hand, like it is my own home, really. I know all the little places that people have never heard of and that the tourists don't really go to and things, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. But it is a real honeypot. And yeah, I think at the minute, most shops in England and especially in tourist destinations, are still very much closed. And I think, if we have a warm weekend, I think people need to be sensible and think about that. It's one thing having the freedom again to be able to go out to places and explore, and of course it's going to do everybody the world of good, but I think people need to be sensible and think, don't go to places where everybody's going to congregate, because we've just gone through this period of where we've been forced into isolation, and it needs to not be for nothing, because I, for one, I think if we have to go through this kind of thing again, I think, and based on the fact that people haven't been sensible, I think I'll be really upset. Okay, so let's move on to something more jolly. Right, okay. Sal says here in Australia we are relaxing restrictions. That's really good to hear. I think you've from what I've read, Sal, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it seems the Australian government got a grip on this situation over there very, very promptly, shall we say. Marlene says, can you please let us know in your videos the fabric stores that deliver to the US? I think Minerva's. I will if I know, Marlene. Of course I will. That's no problem. Lorianne says, I love the Isle of Wight and being with Shan and Jane and Danny, so fun. Yeah. Lovely family. Paula says, Isle of Wight seems to be really beautiful, and it really is. Shan is posting pictures on IG. I love them, Shan. I would like Shan, if she's still here, when you go on your little walks, because Shan's trying to get fitter at the minute, and she's doing a bit of walking with her mum, I think, is take a bit of footage, Shan, and stick it in your videos. We'd all love to see it. Arlene Raycraft, hello from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. Hi, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Stitch and Sew, I love the Isle of Wight. Many fond memories of being there. Loving Shan's photos. Yeah, they're very stunning, aren't they? Angela Harrod says, Rachel, why don't you host a shopping day in Yorkshire? I would come down from County Durham. Would you? Oh, wow. Yeah, I think I'm more than happy to do that. I think I've thought about it before, and I think what's sort of put me off, it's not that it's put me off, it's the fact that the places, the fabric stores that I go to in Yorkshire are actually quite spread out. And it's not like obviously Goldhawk Road in London, for instance, you've got all the stores on the same street, so you can all meet in one place and do all the shops, have some lunch, and then that's great. In Yorkshire, unfortunately, it's not like that. Our fabric shops are really spread out, and the main ones that I really like to go to are Walton's in Goldthorpe, which is it's a little, and I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but it's a very old mining town that is quite run down, a lot of poverty, and there's apart from Walton's, it's not somewhere that you go to, put it that way, okay? So I go there to go to Walton's, come away. Having said that, I do know that literally a couple of villages up the road, there's a beautiful village up the road. It's absolutely stunning. It's called Hickleton, and it's got chocolate box houses, beautiful. And I know that there is a golf club there that do lunches and do beautiful lunches. So it's potentially something that we could maybe look at. You know, say for people that are coming from other areas, they could come to Doncaster train station, and I could pick them up from there. Or if a few other people come, I mean, obviously I've only got one car and there's only me, so, and then we could drive to Walton's, do Walton's, have lunch. This is what I've got in my head. And then from then we could then go over to Dewsbury, which is probably about a good half an hour's drive, I would say, from Walton's, maybe 25 minutes, something like that. And then Dewsbury has Fabworks, which is amazing. It's a massive, massive place, a big mill, because it's an old mill town where they used to obviously make fabrics and things. And Fabworks is brilliant. It's lovely. So that'd be a great place to go. And then Lucky Fabrics, which is just up the road from Dewsbury. There's Dewsbury Market, that on a Wednesday and a Saturday is when they have lots of fabrics on the market. But they tend to be more of the ethnic type of fabrics. So, I mean, there's some great fabrics, but there's a lot of like saris and all that kind of stuff. So not necessarily your sort of everyday sewing fabrics, should I say. So, but it's worth looking at, definitely. And yeah, that's about it. There is another store actually not far from Walton's. It's probably about 15 minutes away, called So Cute Fabrics. And this is run by a lady called Tracy, who she set that the shop up a couple of years ago. Prior to that, she used to have a stall on Doncaster Market, and then she bought the premise. Well, she rented the premises that she has now, and she set that up as a sewing shop. And she tends to, although it's getting better, but when she set up, it was mostly quilting fabrics, so cottons mainly. Okay, but she has actually diversified a bit more, and she's getting more and more dressmaking fabrics in now. So she's got quite a lot actually of dressmaking fabrics. So that's always worth going to have a look as well. But yeah, it's just logistically, it's the, as I say, the problem is that if people are coming from all over, the main centre they'd have to travel to, if they were travelling on public transport, would probably be Doncaster. And Walton's is still quite away from Doncaster. That's the thing. So it's how we would get there. I think if there was lots of people, we'd probably have to look at hiring a minibus, I think. Yeah, so it's just the logistics of it. That's the thing. So, but it's definitely something I can look into if enough people are interested. I mean, if there weren't enough people that were going to come, then obviously we could just do, I could just pick people up in a car and drive people around. That's fine. But if it was going to be more than that, quite a few, I think we'd probably need to look at a minibus to do it, and then we'd have to split the cost, I guess. So, but if people want to, want me to look into that, then absolutely we can look at it. Okay, so where are we at? Christine says, oh man, it's raining cats and dogs here in Montreal. Ugh, I really want summer now. Yeah, we've not had much rain here, which is very unusual for the UK, but it's nice and sunny at the minute, Christine, but it's not warm. Elaine says, Cornwall is so beautiful, we go every year too. I don't think we'll see it this year again, that I understand. I know we actually have a week booked in Cornwall at the end of August, and I'm at the start of the lockdown I wasn't worrying about it. Now I'm starting to, I wouldn't say worry, but I'm starting to think that it might not happen. Okay. Arlene says, here in Nova Scotia, we are allowing 2 families to visit each other, but they can only visit the one family. Right. Okay. We're allowed, I think, to see one person that's not part of our household. That's that's it, which is a bit bizarre, and I don't know how that works in practice, to be honest, because we've not tried it yet. I suppose we could go and see my dad, but the issue I have with that at the minute is, as I mentioned earlier, he's elderly, and I am working and I am examining positive coronavirus patients at work. So I am seeing patients with active infections currently. So although I have all the PPE and I'm very careful with infection control, etc., I'm still very cautious about wanting to see my dad and being physically next to him. That's the thing. So yeah. Right. Mary says, "What's up in next in everyone's queue? I have my calls 7974, but I'm waiting for Shan to finish hers." I don't know if Shan has done a vlog today, hasn't she? And I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, so I'm going to watch that later. Did anybody see So Little Times vlog at the weekend? It's a lady called Karen. I really like her vlogs, actually. She's really, really nice. And she did a vlog on how to make your own pattern weights. And I don't know if some of you remember, but a couple of years ago, there was a lady called Danny who started up her own little online business selling pattern weights that looked like donuts and fondant fancies and things. She was called Oh So Quaint, I think, and it really took off. And these were made out of Fimo clay with obviously weights in them, I guess, and they were really good, actually. I don't know where it's gone actually, but I bought a little donut pin cushion from her, and it really took off to the point where I think she ended up with something like a 6-week wait for her to make them and send them out, etc. And sadly, I think she got overwhelmed by it, I think, and I think it was just too much for her. So she stopped making them. And I'd always sort of thought, oh, I'd love to have a go at making those myself. And then at the weekend, Karen, who is So Little Time, posted a vlog up about how to make your own pattern weights with Fimo clay, which is essentially it's the same thing I think that Danny used. And she made some little sort of cupcakes, and she does a little tutorial and shows you how to do them from start to finish. And they're absolutely amazing. So I've bought some Fimo clay and I'm going to have a little go. I bought some little molds as well from eBay, so I'm going to have a little go at that. So yeah, if you've not seen that, go check it out because it's really good. I do like looking at vlogs where people are doing some different things. I think it's really nice. So yeah. Okay, so everybody's talking about this trip that we're organising. Okay, so right, let's have a look. Where are we up to? So Kathy says her sister's a nurse and contracted COVID from a patient. Fortunately, she's okay now. Yeah, it's there's a lot of healthcare workers that have contracted it, and the problem is, even with all the PPE, it's an airborne transmission, and with the best will in the world, some people, as if you're working in direct contact with somebody with active infection, it's very difficult to, sometimes it's just the luck of the draw, isn't it? But thankfully she's okay. That's really good to hear. Okay, so Elaine says she saw the vlog with the pattern weights. What did you think to it, Elaine? I really enjoyed it, actually. Yeah, so that was good. So I think Shannon and Mary are talking about the 7974. I think there's been a few issues with it by the sounds of things. Jill says she bought some split peas to make pattern weights and ended up making split pea soup instead. Oh, bless you. That's really funny. Alex says, I've seen Karen's video. I like it too, though I have lots of pattern weights. Why does that not surprise me, Alex? Angela says those pattern weights were so cute. They really were. They were really good. You see, I like using my rotary cutter because I did originally used to use pins, and I think that where I find it difficult cutting out with scissors and pinned fabric is when you're using really drapey fabrics, because trying to get a nice sort of neat line when you're cutting, because the fabric's shifting about all over the place. So I found, especially, you know, with drapey fabrics and slinky jerseys, that using a rotary cutter, I get a really nice neat line. So yeah, so I'm a bit of a convert now, I'll admit. The only thing that is a bit, I guess I forget to do, is when you've actually cut the pattern piece out, that's the time to actually pin the pattern piece to the fabric, because it ends up in a bit of a holy mess when I've carting it all upstairs and bringing it up here to try and sew. Where are we up to? Nicola says, hello, sorry late to the party. I was playing online Pictionary. Have I missed much? No, not at all, Nicola, but thank you for joining us. Okay, let's have a look. I've missed loads of this conversation, haven't I? Julie says, oh, I forgot about tonight. I bet I've missed all sorts. We've just been having a right old natter, Julie, and I've got my gin. So the gin is here. This is our homemade gin as well. Well, we haven't made the gin. We've made rhubarb and ginger gin. So it's very, very nice. Okay. So Ridgerock says, I'm going to make the cute triangle chicken pattern weights when I have time. They are really cute. Yes, I've seen those. I think Claire from Beautiful Things, she made those, didn't she, at one point? I think she did a little tutorial on those. Well, I've not got much sewing done, have I? And it's getting a bit dark in here. Let me just put this. Oh, I've just put a light on to try and brighten it up a little bit. There, I think that's a bit better. Okay, Alex says, we'd go fabric shopping with you. Hedge Hubby sounded enthusiastic about it. Yay! Hedge Hubby and my hubby could wear the same shirts. Well, not quite the same, but you know what I mean. In a car, Jojo's welcome to the car if she wants to go. Fantastic. We need to make this happen, guys, when they open up again, don't we? Right. So, okay. So I need to do a bit of sewing, don't I? Because I've done nothing. What time are we on? It's 9:15. You know, last time when I did this live stream, I made a pair of trousers, and this week I've just talked, haven't you, for like hours. So the skirt for this pattern is you've got 2 fronts and 2 backs, basically. So it should be fairly straightforward, I think. Let's have a look. What does it say? Stitch the skirt front sections together at centre front. Well, that's straightforward, isn't it? So Ridgerock says, I think that's where I saw them first. I couldn't remember. Oh, right, yes, for the chicken weights from Beautiful Things. Yes, I'm pretty sure Claire did them, didn't she? But there are lots of, I think there's a lot of tutorials for those little chicken weights. What do you put in them? You could put split peas in them if you don't make soup with them. Andy says, I'd have to come for the weekend. It takes me ages to get anywhere now. We have no flights. Oh, bless you. Yeah, well, it will do from right down there, Andy. Sal says, so you waffle as much as Shan. Oh, my word. Could you imagine if we did a vlog together? Could you just imagine? Now, you know, it says sew your front pieces together. You can probably see I've got scissors in my hand here because I sewed it I cut it out on the fold to sort of make the most of the fabric, because this fabric is only 45-inch wide and these skirt pieces are actually just a little bit wider than that. Mary says, going to get my COVID antibody test tomorrow. Hubby and I are sure we had it in December. We'll post update later. Yeah, it's definitely worth doing if you've had symptoms at some point, to see if you've had it. Definitely. I can't say that I've had any symptoms at all, touch wood, considering I'm seeing patients. I've been very, very healthy, apart from my hip. Apart from my hip. Now I've got to remember which is the centre front. That's the centre front there. Okay. Sian says it would be the longest vlog ever. Definitely. Karmaholic says, it's been brilliant listening to you though. I'm lying on couch watching you on my TV, but log on to phone when I want to comment. Haha. Oh, that's the best way, definitely. I love live streams. I love watching Sean's actually. There's not many vloggers that do them. I know obviously Lisa Comfort's been doing them, hasn't she? When she's been doing, and I've really liked watching hers, but a lot of the time I'm at work, so it depends if it's my lunch break or not. If that's my lunch break, I can obviously sewing the wrong side to the right side here. Hang on. Yeah, if it's my lunch break, I can. That's not right. I can watch them, but obviously if it's not my lunch break, I can't. So, but I can watch them later. But then on an evening, I tend to watch a lot of vlogs on an evening when I go to bed. I put my iPad on next to my bed and sit and watch people then. I know Claire from Beautiful Things, she did some live vlogs, didn't she, a while ago as well? And I like that. I do like watching them because I think it's really nice to just see people really natural in sort of an unedited way. It's and just to have that interaction with people as well. It's really nice. Ridgeback says, I'm using glass pellets left over from making weighted blankets. Brilliant. That's a great idea. Kim Butterworth says, I'd love to come, but no flights or boats from the island. Which island are you on, Kim? Angela says, it's good to talk. Who remembers that? Oh, yes, I remember that one. That was that, I want to say Bob Hoskins, but I don't know if it was. Was it? I'm not sure. Arlene says, this is the second live event I've ever joined. I'm a bit of a techno loser. Well, you're looking at the techno loser because I think you were all here, or there was lots of people here waiting for me for about 15 minutes before I could figure out what I was doing at the beginning of this. The other one I joined in was Shan's. I can't stay, but I do feel a little don't feel starstruck. Honestly, I'm just the same as you, honestly. Noelia says, I think the lady you're talking about who made pattern weights is back on Etsy as Kiddie Lizzie. Oh, is she? Is she making pattern weights again then? Siobhan says, just finished my last Zoom meeting. I'm done for the day. Glad you are still going. Wow. Well, I haven't got a clue how to use Zoom. I've never even looked at it, to be honest. So, yeah. Mary says, thank goodness you are symptom free, Rachel. It was not fun. No, I can. Yeah, it's really not fun. I still not figured out which is the centre front. Yeah, that's not the centre front. Trying to pin fabric together and talk to you guys at the same time. Right. Arlene says, bye everyone. Hope to meet you again soon. Thank you for joining, Arlene. It's been really good chatting with you. Andy says, PMSL, you and Shan are my bedtime buddies. Oh, bless you. Jojo says, Alex, I'm defo always up for a road trip with you guys. Bring on the Depeche Mode. Oh, wow. Oh, gosh, yes. Love a bit of the old mode. Definitely. Did I tell you that I went to see, if we're talking about old 80s bands here, I went to see with Martin one of my all-time favourite bands that I never got to see back in the 80s because I was too little. But I went to see Sisters of Mercy. And in my earlier years, I used to be a goth. You wouldn't think that now with blonde hair, but yeah, when I met Martin, I had really dark hair, black hair, and yeah, I was a goth, long black hair, wore all the black clothes and everything. And Sisters of Mercy were one of my favourite bands, and yeah, I never got to see them when I was back in the day because I was just too young, but they were touring again a couple of years ago. And any of you that know the Sisters of Mercy, the lead singer is called Andrew Eldritch, and he's from Leeds, and he had jet black long hair. I love men with long hair, that's my thing. And you wouldn't think it being married to him, but yeah, he's my soulmate. It's different, isn't it? But yeah, long hair, love it. And yeah, we went to see Sisters of Mercy a couple of years ago, and I couldn't wait. Went to see them in Sheffield, really excited. We're in there, and out comes Andrew singing Temple of Love or whatever it was, and he looked like Pitbull. and my heart sank. He's, you know, obviously a lot older than what he was, but he had no hair, completely bald, and glasses on, and I honestly thought it was Pitbull. So shattered my dreams, that did. Totally. Hey, right. Okay, so where are we up to? Malu Lugo says, hi, Malu, here from Chicago. Hi. Alex says, old, love Sisters of Mercy, the young band. Yeah, they were one of my favorites, Alex. I love listening to their music. There's, yeah, all that kind of music. I love it. Mary, oh, you have to post those goth pics. Well, I think Martin's still got one of me in his wallet, actually. There's one of me with super long hair, dead straight, little like blunt fringe. Yeah, I'm not sure where they all are actually now, but I will try to dig some out. Martin says, still a great concert though. It was a really good concert, yeah, but I just kept thinking it's Pitbull. It's Pitbull. Alex says, David Garn from Depeche Mode looks like an old pimp. Actually, I think he's aged quite well. Well, I'm saying he's aged quite well. He's a bit ravaged from all the drugs, isn't he? But yeah. Sal says, I saw Guns N' Roses in Sydney about 3 years ago. Wow, what does Axl Rose look like now? Alex says, I never had a crush on him. Oh, I did. I had a massive crush on Andrew. Yeah. In fact, my boyfriend at the time, which was about 3 months, no, about, well, yeah, a couple of months before I met my husband, looks a lot like Andrew Eldritch, but he didn't have the dark hair. It was more of a strawberry blonde, I would say. Christine says, bye, have to go now. Car share about to start on BBC One. Enjoy. See you next time. Bye, Christine. Thank you for joining. Ridgeback says, I'm just a little older than you, I think. I skipped the goth phase. I can't see you as a goth. You need to share things. Yeah, I really was. Really was. Julie Cooper says, I'm off to see Rick Astley in October now. There's a blast from the past. Yeah, Rick Astley's actually got quite a lot of kudos now, hasn't he? He's in the late 80s, though, that was not my scene at all. Totally not. NHS freebie. Well done. My daughter is a nurse in ICU, Nottingham, Queens. Really good. Jojo says, fabric road trip. I shall look forward to it. Rachel, I'm a bedtime vlog watcher too. LSH watches along too. Do you manage, Jojo, though, to stay awake watching them? Because, and that's nothing against people vlogging at all. It's just I go up to bed with these great intentions of putting a vlog on and sitting and watching it, and then I'm like this, falling asleep, and end up having to watch them again the next day. I'm actually getting into Gertie's as well at the minute. I don't know. I used to watch Gertie a lot, and yeah, Gertie's doing a lot of live streams at the minute. In fact, I've just bought her Rita blouse and the Stanwyck skirt as well. I'm waiting for them to come, but I've bought both of those because she did a vlog on the Stanwyck skirt about doing a felt one. Now, I mean, I wouldn't make one out of felt because she's made it out of wool felt, and I can't sort of get my head around how you'd wash it because it would shrink, wouldn't it? But I haven't managed to, and this is no disrespect to Gertie, but I've not managed to stay awake long enough to watch the entire vlog to find out if she actually addresses that or not. So, but I'm really enjoying her vlogs at the minute. Right. Carmaholic says it was Woody from Bay City Rollers for me in the 70s, especially as I come from Edinburgh. Oh, wow. They were well before my time. Bay City Rollers, yeah. Jojo says, haha, nope, I usually rewatch with my morning coffee. Yeah, that's me too. I sort of like, I wake up the next day and think, I have to watch the rest of it now. Mary says, oh my God, went to see Van Halen, and when they came on stage, I turned to my hubby and asked, who is that old guy? It was David Lee Roth. He looked like the Grim Reaper. I kid you not. Oh my word. Oh, it's amazing. Doesn't it shatter your dreams though? It really does. Kathy says, I watch vlogs at night and lose track of time, often still watching at 2 a.m. Wow, I wish I could stay awake till that time, but I just can't. Shan says, it's been lovely. Peeps, have FaceTime date with Wilson. See you all soon. Bye, Shan. Thank you for joining. Say hi to Wilson. Right, let me finish this scene. And then we'll see if I've stitched the right bits together. Right, so front skirt is done. That's easy enough, isn't it? I'm going to overlock that seam, I think. I'm not, now Shan's gone, I can say this, can't I? I can't be bothered to French seam it because, you know, overlocking is just quicker, isn't it? Everyone's saying bye to Sean. So I'll overlock that in a minute. Skirt back sections together at the centre, so that's easy. She says if I stitch them the right way. So which is the centre back? That's the centre back. So Paula says, oh, I still remember when Bay City Rollers came to Helsinki when I was 11. My God, I was in cloud nine. Oh, wow. Ridge Wright says, goodbye all, Rachel. Enjoy your staying. My daughter is home and we will have a catch-up to do. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you for joining us, Ridge Wright. Kathy says, my son lives in Helsinki, in Paula, in Espoo. Wow. None of my family live abroad. They all live, well, I'm saying that. I do have some distant relatives in Canada, but I've not seen them for years. Okay, so that's the centre back seam pinned together. Is anyone part of the Sew Over It PDF club? Have you seen the new, because I think she's just released the new pattern this week, hasn't she? Can't remember the name of it, but I don't think I'm going to buy it because it's not my, I don't think I'll fit in it, to be honest. I think it's a dress, but it's like quite fitted, but it's designed for drapey wovens, so things like viscose, that obviously if it's going to be fairly fitted, you need to get the fit right, don't you? Paula says, I was born in Helsinki, but I live in Sweden now, but it's a beautiful city. Lorianne says, woohoo, my sewing machine dealer just called. He's delivering my new quilting machine in an hour. Oh my word. Lorianne, how many machines have you got? Jill says, my ancestors are from Yorkshire. They were farmers and blacksmiths. Yeah, I think, well, my maiden name was Smith, so I'm assuming somewhere in my distant past we were blacksmiths too. Andy says yes. Lauren says, I'm a PDF club member too. Too fitted for me too. Yeah, it is for me, Lorianne. I think if it was made for fabrics like, you know, that had some stretch in it, I would probably go for it. But when I read the blurb, it was not designed for any stretch, and yeah, I'm worried about how to fit that, to be honest. Siobhan says, as I was late to the party, what are you making? Right, Siobhan, let me show you. This is what I'm making. Vogue V8974, this vintage pattern. It's a reproduction vintage pattern, and yeah, it's a gorgeous little summer dress. I've made it before. I was telling the guys at the beginning that I've made this before about 4 years ago, and I needed to do a lot of tweaks. I really needed to twirl the bodice because the bodice is very fitted, and yeah, I knew that I'd need to twirl it, and I did, and I made a few twirls before I got the fit right. So what I did was I tried on the original dress that I made a couple of nights ago, and just to make sure that it still fit me, because I haven't worn it since. I made it for a wedding and I haven't worn it since, and yeah, it still fits me fine. So I know that obviously the adjusted pattern pieces that I'd done, that I could just reuse those. So that's exactly what I've done. To show you the line drawings on the back, there we go. So yeah, it's a really pretty dress, really pretty. So that's what I'm making, and I'm making it out of this lovely cotton. It's a Broderie Anglaise, as we call it in the UK, but I understand some places call it eyelet. So this is my fabric, which has just got this printed gorgeous sort of blue floral print on it. It's really pretty. So I've done the bodice, and I showed this to everybody earlier. So the bodice is here, but I've lined it rather than it just being faced. So you can't see it very well because obviously it's got nothing to hang on at the minute, but there's the bodice bit. That's the front, and the back is like that, with the crossover straps at the back. You can't see it very well, can you? So yes, I'm just on the skirt at the minute, but as I say, I've done a lining for it rather than it just being faced. Where are we? Jojo says, I'm so over at PDF, not keen on the latest dress, not for me. No, it's not for me, Joe. Kim says yes, the Giselle, and Eileen Moore says Giselle as well. I've missed that one. Sorry, that's over my head. Blue McGilla says, I love watching your commute to work or home. Our family come from Yorkshire ages ago, and it's nice to see a bit of the countryside. I'm in British Columbia, Canada now. It's a beautiful place, is British Columbia. Yeah, we were there last year and it's amazing. Yeah, it's a nice little corner of the world we're in. Lorraine says, I have 5 rooms filled with machines, Rachel. Oh my word, you will have to come and see them. Yes, I will have to come and see them, definitely. Sal says, I'm half Spanish Australian. Dad was born in Seville, Spain. That's another place I want to visit, Sal. Seville. Yeah, I'd love to explore more of Andalusia. Or is it Lucia? It's probably Lucia. I'm probably saying that wrong. Noelia says, I'm not a So Over at PDF Club member, so I'll have to wait till next week. You might not be thrilled this time, Noelia, but see what you think. It's a very individual thing, isn't it? Lorianne says, Noelia, the PDF Club is a good deal, includes a free pattern. Yeah, it is. I didn't join last year. I can't remember why not now, but I wasn't a member last year, but I was the year before, and then I have become a member this year. Noelia says, Sal, I thought you may have been Spanish. I'm Spanish too, but live in England. I thought your name sounded Spanish. Yeah. Paula says, beautiful dress and fabric, Rachel. Thank you. Andy says, just whipped a quick Molly dress. Hopefully I can wear it this weekend on the beach with the girls. Oh, I'm so jealous, Andy. So jealous. Angela Harron says, Lorianne, you have more than Bonnie Hunter. Do you use all of them? Malu Lugo says, Pauline Madison, hello. Sal says that Noelia, yeah, very Spanish name. My last name is Gonzalez. Paula says, yes, Lorianne, I've got 43 sewing machines and one bit. 43? I am reading that right, aren't I, Paula? And one baby lock combo serger cover stitch, and I use my Janome most with serger. Wow. Noelia says, Lorianne Payne, I've been thinking about it. It looks good value. It is actually, because you get a free pattern and you get 10% off all the new release PDFs. So, and you get access to that a week before they are released, generally, if that makes sense. Where are we up to? Noelia says, Sal, mine is Raymond. Is that Raymondez? The Z gives it away. I hope I've said that right. Please let me know if I haven't. Right, so I need to stitch these together. Now, this pattern has a lapped zip that goes on the left hand side, so I need to make sure I stitch the right side together, because I always make a mistake doing this kind of thing and do the wrong side. So that's my back. So if that's my back piece, that goes, yeah, that's right. So it's hang on, back, yeah, that's right, just figured that out. Yes, Noelia, it is. Rachel, Andalusia is in Spanish sounds like Andalucia. Yes, you are absolutely, of course, you're absolutely right. You're Spanish, I'm not. Yes, Andalucia. Thank you for that. Paula says 4 machines and 3 of them are for sewing. I thought you said you had 43. Wow. Lorianne says I use most of them. Some are collector machines. Yeah, but I've actually used all of them. Wow. Noelia says you said that right. Yes. Yay. Malulago says Noelia, hello. Lorianne says, wow, Paula, which baby lock do you have? I have the Triumph and Love It. I also have a separate cover stitch machine from Baby Lock. My overlocker is a Baby Lock, and I have the Imagine. Now, when I first bought an overlocker, when not long after I started sewing, I bought a second-hand Brother overlocker, and yeah, I didn't want to sort of spend a lot because I wasn't sure if I would use it often enough, that kind of thing. But to be honest, I didn't really like that machine. It was, when I bought it, the people I bought it from said that it wasn't that old and that it had been used and they were selling it. And I did get it at a good price, to be fair, but I think there was problems with the tension on it all the time. It used to drive me mad. So I persevered with it for a couple of years, and then I traded it in and bought myself a Baby Lock Imagine, because it has the air threading, the jet air threading, and it has automatic tension on it as well, so you don't have to fiddle about with the tension on it. And I absolutely love it. I really love it. It's weird, but it just feels such a more robust machine than the Brother Overlocker did. So yeah, I can absolutely vouch for Overlock, for Baby Lock, definitely. So right, Alex says I've just taken a screenshot of the comment with 43 machines to show it to Hedge Hubby. Yes, you've only done that, Alex, so that you can convince him that you don't have a problem. Mary says, bye, Rachel. Have to make dinner. Loved watching. Bye, Mary. Thank you for joining us. Lene Jensen says, hi. Hi, Lene. Paula says, Lorianne, my Baby Lock is evolved due to lack of space, so I got combo serger cover stitch. Love it. I considered that originally. I considered getting a combination, but when I did a bit of research, not particularly just in the Baby Lock, but just with combo machines, I think a lot of people said it was a bit of a faff switching between the two when they wanted to use them. So I ended up just deciding that I would just get separate machines. Where are we up to? Kim says, hello from the Gold Coast, Australia. It's 6:30 a.m. for us. Hi, Kim. Good morning. I love watching your vlogs. I'm saving up for a Baby Lock. Yes, I would. I honestly would highly recommend it. I've had mine now for 18 months and I have never had a problem with it at all. The Brother overlocker that I had, it was always, it would unthread itself, and then when I used to rethread it, it wouldn't work. I'd not got it threaded right, and it was just a nightmare. Oh heck, I've lost the comments. Go away. There we go. That's better. Alex says I don't have a problem. Angela says I have 3 featherweights and a super modern Brother and 2 overlockers. One was secondhand and it's temperamental. The little singer hasn't missed a beat. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, the overlocker that I had, I gave it to my sister-in-law. She does sew, but she tends to sew more craft things than dressmaking. So she's got that now. So he did go to a good home. Kathy says, haha, Alex. Lorianne says, I've had 9 surges over the years. Wow. 4 of them have been baby locks. Keep upgrading. Paula says, I'm so used to switch between, so no problem for me. That's really good. Jill says, I have a baby lock pressed a good machine. Yeah, they're good machines, aren't they? Malu says to Angela, hello. Angela says, hi, Rach. Hi, Angela. Lorian says, I turned in my brother CV3550 cover stitch machine for a baby lock. I cried when I got it. It was a huge upgrade from the brother. Their tensions wouldn't stay with. But yeah, I had the same problem, Lorian. And I remember on the brother, you had like tension dials on the front, and I would have them on the tightest tension, and I couldn't stitch garments together on the brother overlocker because you get the laddering when the tension's a bit loose, when you sort of pull 2 seams apart, and that would happen all the time. And I couldn't understand it because I'd cleaned it all out. I had the threads right in the tension discs, and it even with the tension dials on full, it still wouldn't be strong enough. So it ended up where I only used it to finish seams. I certainly would not have sewn any jerseys together just on the overlocker. I had to do them on my sewing machine first, and then just finish them off on the serger, because the tension was just a nightmare. I don't know whether it was just a faulty machine I had, and it probably I didn't get it new, so it maybe had that fault, and maybe that's why the people that sold it to me, because they knew it had an issue. But it doesn't matter. It's in the past now. I've got my new one and it's lovely. Jill says, baby lock presto and Singer finishing touch serger. Jojo says, I only have 7 machines. Totally normal, right? Totally. Sal says, and Alex, when I see your videos, I keep thinking you look like Rowena from Supernatural show. I've not seen that, so I don't know who that is, Sal. Alex says, okay, I need to empty my people reactive dog, Brian, aka Walk the Dog. Thank you for the company and the giggle, Martin. Lovely to see you, Alex. Thank you for joining. Take care. Andy says, have to go, call mum. Thanks for the chat. It's been lovely. Thank you, Andy. You take care. Bye-bye. Sal, Alex is laughing at Sal. Angela says, hi, Malou. I keep the old one threaded permanently with black. That's a really good idea, actually, because that's the problem, isn't it? It's a bit of a pain swapping your threads. I know that you can. I mean, it's not so much of an issue on my baby lock swapping the threads now, because it's very quick. And I know that you can tie off. You can cut the threads, can't you, and put the new cones on and tie it and then feed it through if you do it one at a time. But I will say that when I try that with my baby lock, the right hand needle, it never goes through the right hand needle, and it always comes unthreaded, and I have to rethread that one anyway. So I tend not to do that. I tend to just change the whole lot because it's just as quick, really. Paula says, hi Jojo, that's completely normal. Janice and Sal are saying goodbye to Alex. Right, I'm going to overlock these seams, and then the skirt portion is now done. Totally going to get this finished tomorrow. That's if I have a white zip. Well, I think I have a white zip. It doesn't need to be a concealed one because it's obviously going to be lapped. Right, guys, I'm going to give you a heads up that I'm probably going to go for probably another 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to call it a night because we're getting on for 10 o'clock. Where are we up to? Heather says, I had my Singer sewing machine 12 years and loved it. Then my husband bought me a faff for Christmas and it's changed my life. I can now do buttonholes. Which faff have you got, Heather? I've got a faff and I love it. And yes, buttonholes are brilliant on it, aren't they? Paula says, it's coming to bedtime here. Thanks for today, guys. Stay safe. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Paula. Lovely to see you. Kim says, bye, everyone. I've missed the rest of what you've said, Kim, hasn't appeared yet. Ah, so Heather's got the Quilt Ambition 630. Nice. But Kim says goodbye. Oh, I think we said that, didn't we? Stitch and So says off to Bobo's. Thank you, Rachel. Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you for joining us. Janice says night. Then I enjoyed the visit. Good night, Janice. Angela says, I learned that some older overlock machines have to be rethreaded completely in the right order. Yeah, the Brother one that I had was the 1034D, and that had to be threaded in the correct order, which I didn't realise when I first got it. You had to thread the upper looper, then the lower looper, then the second needle, the right-hand needle, then the left-hand needle. So in order, it was number 3, number 4, number 2, and then number 1. And in my sort of logical mind, when I first got it, I thought you would thread it 1, 2, 3, 4, and it wouldn't work. If you thread it that way, it doesn't work. And you know, you're trying to overlock, and when you press the foot pedal, all you're getting is 4 strands of thread. And it took ages for me to figure out what I was doing wrong. And yeah, it has to be threaded in the right manner. This one, you can thread it how you like, to be honest, and it works every time. So where are we? Sal says, good timing to stop as I've got to go get ready to see my kids soon. Oh, that's lovely, Sal. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to overlock this last seam and then probably say goodnight to you all. Noelia says, I have a vintage Singer from 1960s. It's my only machine. I bought an automatic buttonhole attachment. It's marvellous. The vintage Singers, Noelia, are amazing. They really are. I don't think, to be honest, I would have a modern Singer now. But certainly the old Singers are absolute workhorses. Right, so that's done. Let's just see where we're up to. Elaine says, hope the finger has healed. It's not quite there, Elaine. It's growing out now, but it's not painful anymore, so thank you. Kathy says, enjoyed it, Rachel. Take care. Looking forward to seeing the finished dress. Thank you, Kathy. Hopefully I'll get it done tomorrow. Jane says, have to go now. Great live stream from a fellow Waltons addict. Thank you, Jane. Lovely to see you. Kim says, I have an old Germani 4-thread overlock. I had it for 30 years. I rethread by joining the new threads on the lower loopers. It's a good workhorse. Brilliant. Angela said, if I won on the lottery. Blue McGilla says, I understand the machine collections. Got to admit, my favourite is still the old Bernina 830. That is an amazing machine, and that's one that I want. It is on my list to get an 830 record, but they are very expensive, even though they're old machines. Crybaby says, good night. Loved watching you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Jill says, we are celebrating Victoria Day this weekend here in Canada. Is this a holiday weekend in the UK? No, this weekend isn't. No, where we have a holiday weekend. We had one last weekend, and then we've got another one in a couple of weeks. Noelia says, yeah, no, it was last weekend, V-Day, yeah. Angela says, good night, all stay safe. Good night, Angela, thank you for joining us. Elaine says, good night, God bless. And Elaine Makin says, good night, Rachel, it's been fabulous. Thank you both, Elaines. Nicola says, thanks, Rachel, I really enjoy all your videos and the lives are fun. I'm really glad you joined us, Nicola, thank you. Julie says, goodbye, gutted you're going. I've just started sewing. Oh, I'm so sorry, Julie, it's getting late here. It's quite dark now. Jojo says, off to bed in a mo. Grandma, thanks for the hangout. It's been lovely. Thank you, Joe. Right, I am going to say goodnight. It is nearly 10 o'clock here in Yorkshire. So thank you all for joining me again. I've really enjoyed it. Really had good fun tonight. I hope you have too. Hopefully I'll get this dress finished tomorrow. And if I do, I will obviously film it in my vlog that should be up Sunday evening. So thank you for joining me, guys. And I hope we can do it again soon. Take care. Bye.